Hello everyone, and welcome back to the FIT AZ-900 Azure Fundamentals Masterclass. Over the last 6 lessons, we've covered one of the most important areas of Microsoft Azure, and that is identity and access management. We've learned how Microsoft Entra ID manages identities, how users and groups are organized, the difference between authentication and authorization, how single sign-on and multi-factor authentication improve security, how Azure RBAC controls access to resources, and we've even explored these concepts in the Azure portal. Now it's time to test our understanding. In today's reinforcement lab, you will answer Microsoft-style practice questions based on real-world fit scenarios. My advice is simple. Pause the video after each question, choose your answer, and then compare it with the explanation. Remember, the goal isn't just to get the right answer, it's to understand why it's the right answer. Let's begin. This is lesson number 30, and this is our reinforcement lab 4 on identity and access management. And this is what I expect you to do. So we're going to review the entire identity and access management section with sample questions, apply Microsoft Entra ID concept to real-world, scenarios using fit scenarios, improve confidence with Microsoft-style AZ-900 questions, identify common exam traps, and strengthen your understanding before moving to Azure governance and management topics. So let's start with question 1. FIT has hired 20 new instructors who need Microsoft account to access Microsoft Teams and Azure. What Microsoft Azure service should be used to create and manage these identities? Is it A, Azure Virtual Machines, B, Entra ID, C, Azure Storage, D, Azure Monitor? So the correct answer here is Microsoft Entra ID. And the explanation here is that Microsoft Entra ID is Azure's cloud-based identity and access management service, and it is used to create and manage user identities. You saw this practically, so it shouldn't be a problem. Question number 2. A new employee successfully signs into Azure using their username and password. What process has just taken place? Is it authorization? Is it authentication? Is it RBAC? Is it encryption? So if you follow through and you paid attention, you should know that the answer is what? Authentication. And the reason being that authentication verifies the identity of a user. Move on to question number 3. After signing in successfully, an employee cannot delete a virtual machine because they only have the reader role. Which concept is preventing the deletion? Is it authentication, authorization, encryption, or Azure policy? So the answer here is authorization. An explanation is authorization determines what actions an authenticated user is allowed to perform. It's as simple as that. Question number 4. We're looking at FITS wanting all instructors to have the same permissions. So what is the most efficient approach? Assign permissions to each instructor individually. Is that the best option? Create a security group and assign permissions to the group. Create a separate tenant and create separate subscriptions. So if you're thinking that the answer is B, then you are 100% right. And the reason being that security groups simplify permission management by allowing permissions to be assigned once to the group instead of doing it individually. Okay. Question number 5. Which Microsoft Entra feature allows users to sign in once and access multiple applications? So you sign in once, then you can have access to multiple applications. So is it Azure Backup, Azure Monitor, single sign-on, which is SSO, or Azure File? So if you're thinking that the answer is C, then you are right. Question number 6. Which authentication method provides an additional layer of security beyond the password? Is it Azure Monitor, multi-factor authentication, Azure policy, Azure backup. So if you're thinking the answer is B, then you are right. Question number 7. Which Azure RBAC role allows users to view resources but not make changes? So you're only allowed to view, you're not allowed to edit. So is it the owner? Is it a contributor? Is it a reader? So if you're thinking global administrator, so if you're thinking the answer is C, you are right, reader. Question number 8. What is the primary purpose of Azure role-based access control? So A, create identities, B, manage subscription, C, control access to Azure resources and monitor virtual machines. So the primary purpose is to control access to Azure resources. Question number 9, which Microsoft Entra type is typically used for an external partner invited into your organization? Is it a member, a guest, an administrator, a contributor? So the person is coming outside of the organization, so that person is a guest. Question number 10. What does the principle of least privilege recommend? So give every user owner permission, give users only the permissions they need to perform their jobs, give everyone global administrator access, and D, disable all authentication methods. So the correct answer is B, where you give users only what they are required or what they need to perform their jobs. Question number 11, where are user identities primarily managed in Azure? Is it Azure Monitor, Microsoft Entra ID, Azure Backup, Azure Storage? So if you're thinking it's Microsoft Entra ID, then you are 100% right. Question number 12, which Microsoft Entra feature allows users to sign in without using a traditional password? Is it an Azure Bastion, Passwordless Authentication, Azure Firewall, Azure Backup? So if you're guessing it's passwordless, then that is right. Question number 13, a company wants employees to use their fingerprint instead of a password to sign in. Which Microsoft Entra capability supports this? Is it Azure Backup, Passwordless Authentication, Azure Storage, Azure Advisor? So the answer here obviously is Passwordless Authentication. Question number 14, what is the main purpose of Microsoft Entra security groups? So it stores files, organize users, and simplify permission management. Monitor Azure resources, host applications. So it's about security groups. The main purpose is obviously to organize users and simplify permission management. And then last but not the least, question number 15, we're looking at which sequence currently describes the identity process in Azure. Is it authorization, authentication, Microsoft Entra ID, and RBAC? Is it Microsoft Entra ID first, authentication second, authorization, Azure RBAC before Azure resources? Is it C, Azure RBAC, authentication, user storage account? Is it D, virtual machine authentication, Microsoft Entra ID? So if you're thinking it's B, then you are right. So we need to have an identity first, you authenticate it, you check what you're authorized to do through the Azure RBAC, then you can have access to the resource. So a user exists in Microsoft Entra ID, authenticates to prove their identity, is authorized based on permission, and Azure RBAC enforces those permissions, and then the user accesses, Azure resources. So that's a wrap for today's lesson. Excellent work. You've now completed the Identity and Access Management section of the AZ-900 course. If you found any question challenging, revisit lessons 24 through 29 and try this reinforcement lab again. In our next lesson, we will move into the next AZ-900 objective and begin exploring Azure governance, compliance, and management, where you will learn about tools such as Azure Policy, Resource Logs, Tags, and the Azure Resource Manager, which is the arm. Remember, understand first, practice second, and conveniently master both. I'll see you in the next lesson. God bless. Bye bye for now.